object-oriented programming. Always the class names goes first. After that, the fields are listed. And after that, the methods are listed. If you swap things here and there, you will see an error. This is the method, this is the way we have to follow. So, whenever we work with object oriented programming, we have to write name of the class, fields in that class, and methods in the class. Now, the name of the class is rectangle. Fine. The fields in that class is length and width. And now the method would be area of the rectangle and then perimeter of the rectangle. Fine. So that is tentative idea about how we can start with the programming. Name goes first, field, or we can say variables in that class, methods in that class, and rectangle in the class. Okay, so let's write it step by step. Now, if you remember how we write int length in usually like when we are creating a variables. Now, when we write integer length, it means that it is public. That means it's public integer length by default. Now, public here is an access specifier. If it is public, that means anybody can use it, anyone can destroy it, anyone can modify it. Now, the advantage of using an object oriented programming is it is private. The data is hidden from other classes. So rectangle class data will be hidden from a square class data. So whatever is happening in 29001 section, 2900005 section won't know anything about it. That means it's hidden. So how it is hidden? We use the term called private. So we declare these length and the width as a private members of just a rectangle class. That means nobody has an access to look into it. Only the members of that class have an access. Okay. So when we write it in a rectangle class, we start with instance variables. So we write first private double length, private double width. Fine. So these are the two fields that we are using in a rectangle class. Now, once we are done with this, next is there is a way to access these private fields. The method used to access private field is called getter method, and the method that is used to modify the private field is called a setter method. So that is called a get and a set method. So you can set the value, you can modify the value with the setter method, and to access that you have to use a getter method. Now the syntax for this is, again, for the setter first, setter method for length. Remember, setter method will not return any value. So we use a void in that. We write public void set length double length, or maybe I'll make it easy for you, double L. I'm not going to use this right now. It's going to be too much for you. Length assigned to L. I'll keep it short. Len. That's easy, understandable. Length assigned to len variable. Okay. Next is, so if you remember how to define a methods, again we are using the same concept: public, return type, name of a method, and the parameter we are passing here. Okay, so that is the syntax we have learned in our method chapter. Now, if you remember from there, we also use a static. But in programming, in object oriented programming, static is another class. So we cannot use that as inside a method. Okay, that we will talk about it in later class. So whenever we work with classes and object, we create a methods, we do not use a static keyword in that. Okay, so I will delete this keyword from here. Next is setter method for width. So it will be public void set width, width assigned to width. Fine. So once we are done with that, next step is to use a to access the values. I'll show you right now. So as of right now, we have just done a set method. Fine. If I go to main, in a main, create an instance of a rectangle class. Now, whatever is shaped like a rectangle, you can set a length for that. Box is a rectangle. So box is a thing. A room is a rectangle. A room is a thing. So it's an object. So I'll create an box instant. So that is the syntax for creating an instance of a rectangle class. So box is an object of rectangle class. Okay, so the syntax for creating the instance of a rectangle class is, you write name of the class, object, new keyword. New keyword we are using so that it get enough space in the memory, and then again the name of the class followed by parentheses and a semicolon. So that is the syntax for creating a objects, and objects are only created in a main method. It's not created inside a rectangle class. In rectangle class, you will just write a template. That's it. Now, any questions so far? I'm just gonna stop here and ask you if you guys have any doubt. I'm gonna move this here. Let me know if you have any concern, then I'll move to the next step.
So we just now call on the method by using public class rectangle and main.
Yes. Any questions here so far? Okay. So, Yenhan, about the static. So, as I mentioned, static is another type of a class in uh, in object oriented programming. So, static means member belong to the class, not to the object. So normally, if I write it here, a static keyword that will not belong to that object, it will belong to a rectangle. Okay, so in object oriented programming, each object has its own copy. Fine. So with static, only one copy exists and shared by all objects. Whereas without static, each object has its own copy of its own name. I hope you understand it. So because static member do not need the object, so that is why we ignore a static keyword here. Yes. So you can see static, make it global or something like that. Yeah. David, you have a question. Could we repeat this process if main is needed to be used in rectangle class? What does that mean? Repeat like what?
Sorry, it's like a in regards to like if we were in the rectangle class itself, and then
Mm-hmm.
say like we wanted to create main box equals main, like could you
Like
kind of
public
use
static
them?
void main?
No, like you know how we wrote the rectangle box equals new rectangle?
Uh-huh.
Like could we do that inside the rectangle class, but like main box equals main or new main? I don't know if that makes sense, but just like
Yeah, you can,
interchangeably.
some in some programmers, they define the class first, and then they write create the instance of the class, but then you have to copy all this and paste it on this rectangle class on the bottom once you're done with all the functionality.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
make sure whenever you have to write rectangle blocks, new rectangle, it should be under public static void main. It cannot be under any other method.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, that
perfect.
works.
So going step by step. So as of right now, so now now this set method, it is helpful to set the values of a length. So to call this method, next step is to call a set length method. So whenever you call with the name of the object, period, the name of the method, followed by the value. The value could be 10, 15, whatever value you want to write. Okay. And then you call box dot set width 10. Fine. And even if you try to run this like system.out.println, box, so it is already showing you an error. Why? Because this is a void method and it will not return a value. So even if you try to run, it will not return a value. Set method is only useful for setting up the value. Okay, so keep all these things in mind. Fine. So next is now how we can access the values. We have to use a getter method, like a get value method. Fine. So for get value method, so let's write another methods. Uh, okay, double length, perfect. Next is getter method for the length. We start with public double get length and then return length. And then similarly, we write for public double get width, return width. Now you can return the value of a length and width that you have set up in a main method. So now you can write system.out.println, the length of rectangle is box.getLength, and similarly the length of rectangle is, or I mean say, let's not use a rectangle, length, keep it short, is box.getLength, and then system width is box.getWidth. Run a program. Under console, you will see the length is 15 and the width is 10. Okay, so that's how, so that right now what we have done, we have just created the class called a rectangle. In that class we have two fields, that is called an instance variables, that is the length and the width, and they are private because we want to keep it hidden. That means only the members of that class can access it. Then for you, since we are using a private length and private width, we have to use a getter and a setter method. So setter method will set the length, getter method will return the length and the width. Fine. So next step after that is public get the area, calculate the area of rectangle. So the formula is public double calculate area return length multiply by width, and then next step is calculate the parameter of the rectangle. The formula is public double calculate parameter return 2 multiply by length plus width semicolon. Fine. So once that is done, I'm still waiting for you all. Any questions, any confusion so far, anyone? And everybody got this done?
I understand the rectangle part, but for main, I guess when I just did it on my own or just copied it, like how you did for main, it just said an error or multiple markers at the same time, it cannot be resolved into a type.
Okay, let me finish it and then you can see. System, the area is box.calculate area. The parameter is box.calculate parameter, and then run it and then see the output. So that would be the final answer. Got this done, everyone? Just write it on the chat group if you're done. I see David is done. Isaac is done. Jesus is done. Okay. Okay, I thought David is done. If you understood this, then you understood a lot of object oriented programming. Frank is done. Okay. Jonathan is done. Alex is done. Perfect. Priya is done. Perfect. Okay. So what's the benefit of object oriented programming now? As I mentioned, that classes are like a blueprint. So like when we build a house, we just create a one design for an house. Fine. Now based on that design, we build a community like a thousands house. So now whatever is rectangle shape, fine, like rectangle, you can have a kitchen. Calculate the area for a room. Okay, so what you have to do, you just have to change the length and the width. You will write room dot set length, room dot set width. Fine, maybe we can do it 12. And then now the area of the room and the parameter of the room. So I just want to get the area. Just one thing, area is calculate area. Fine. So now it's easy. See, now you can get the area of a room also, not only of the box. So that is one of the other advantage of using an object oriented programming. You can create as many object as required, or whatever is in the rectangle shape. You can calculate the area or the parameter anytime. So this is the rectangle class you have created, and in the main method you have created the object of the rectangle class. Okay, so I hope you understood that. So I'm gonna copy and paste it. Those who are working, they can finish it by chance. And then again, I'm gonna copy and paste it here for your records. Okay. Okay. So let's move to the lecture slide, and then we can do one more example. So that's a UML diagram. Now, writing a class step by step, rectangle class can have the methods like set length, set width, get length, get width, get area. Set length method will store a value in an object's length field. Set width method will store a value in an object width field. Get length return the value in an object's length field. And get width return the value in an object width field. And the area will return the area of the rectangle, which is the result of length multiplied by width. That is the UML diagram. So UML diagram for the rectangle class, rectangle, which is the name of the class, length and width are the fields, set length, set width, get width, get area are the methods. Writing the code for the class field. So you start with public class rectangle, private double length, private double width. These are the two fields. Now we have an access specifier is a Java keyword that indicate how the fields and the methods can be accessed. So when the public access specifier is applied to the member can be accessed by the code inside or outside. Whereas the private access specifier is applied to the class member, the member cannot be accessed by the code outside the class. Member can be accessed only by the method that are the member of the same class. Now we have a header for a set length method. We have access specifier, then a return type, method name, and the parameter variable declaration. Notice that static does not appear in the method header, designed to work on objects, designed to work on the instance of a class, that is instance method. Writing and demonstrating the set length method. So you can write public void set length, double length. So we are creating this parameter length, the value to store in length field. Creating an object box, rectangle box assigned to new rectangle. The box variable will hold the address of rectangle object. So length and width as of right now is 0.0 because we have not set it up any value to it. Once we set up the values, it changed to the new value. So now we call the method that is a set length method. Now box dot set length 10.0. So the box variable hold the address of the rectangle object. So now the length is changed to 10 instead of 0.0. So this is the state of the box object after the set length method execute. Next is get length. Now get length will return the value in the length field. So you will write public double get length, return length. So the set width and get width can be created in a same manner. Next is the area. We write public double get area and return length multiplied by width. So accessors and mutators, because the concept of data hiding, the fields in the class are private. The method that retrieve the data of the fields are called accessors, and the method that modify the data of the fields are called mutators. So accessors and mutators are the other name for getter and setter. You can say them accessors or mutator or setters or getter or setters. Each field that the programmer wish to be viewed by other classes needs an accessor. And each field that the programmer wishes to be modified needs a mutator. So accessors and mutator, set length, set width, get length, get width. Other name of these methods are getters and setters. Data hiding. Object hide its internal private field from the code that is outside the class that the object is instance of. Only the class method may directly access and make the changes to the object internal data. Code outside the class must use the class public method to operate on an object's private field. Data hiding is important because classes are typically used as a components in a large software system involving a lot of teams of programmer. So hiding helps enforce the integrity of an object's internal data. Now, what is a stale data? Stale sum data is the result of the calculation, like a length multiplied by width. It would be impractical to use area variable. Otherwise, it will make the calculation stale by whenever we change the value. So rather, that's why we have written return length multiplied by width. So rather than use an area variable, we can dynamically calculate the value of rectangle area when the method is called. Now, any changes to the length and width will not leave the area of rectangle stale. So, UML diagrams are the language independent. UML diagram use the independent notation to show the return type, access modifiers, and all that. So, access modifiers are denoted by negative and positive signs. Negative means private width, colon double is the data type. Positive means public. Set width is the name of the method, followed by W, which is the parameter. Double is the data type, and void is the return type. So we used a colon. That's a proper UML diagram of classes and objects. So I'll show you the last one. So that is, wait a second. So that is the converting the UML diagram to the code. If you observe on the top, there is a rectangle, width, length, data type mentioned, set width, W double colon void. This is the structure of the class that can be compiled and tested without having the body for the method. Just be sure to put the dummy return values for method that can have the return type other than void. So that's why we have here the return 0.0 and all. That is the dummy values. So that is a diagram, the structure UML diagram, plus set width, plus set length, plus get width, plus get length, plus get area. So all these add sign, plus signs means it is a public access modifier. And then we have in the parentheses, we have the variable name and the data type and the return type. Okay, in the get width we do not have any parameters, so writing the return type. Fine. So next is, okay, that's done. So layout of the source code file can vary by an employer or an instructor. So the common layout is fields goes first, then methods, access and mutators are grouped together. There are the tools that help in formatting the layout to a specific standards. Fields and the methods are declared, shown are called instance fields and instance method. Object created from the class have their own copy of the instance field. Instance methods are the method that are not declared with the static keyword. Instance field and methods require an object to be created in order to be used. Note that each room represented in this example have a different dimensions, like a kitchen, bedroom, den, but they are all rectangle shape. Fine. So the kitchen variable hold the address of the rectangle object with the different length and the width values. Bedroom variable hold the address of the rectangle object with different values. And the den variable hold the address of rectangle object again with the different values. Classes can have a special method called constructor. Actually, I'm not going to talk about the, wait a second. One second, please. Hmm. As of right now, what we have covered so far, it's 7.1234. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the constructor topic today because it's gonna be too much for you to adapt. And it's better for me to show you one more example so that it's like a practice of what we have done so far. Okay, so I'm going to stop right now from this lecture slide and we are going to continue about the constructors. Constructor is a method again, but a different type of method that have a special meaning. It's a special method that is only used in in a classes. Okay, so they perform some operations uh, like an initialization task, which we will cover in the next class. And in the next class, I will finish this chapter. Okay, so let me actually do one example and then I can assign you the homework based on whatever we have learned so far. Okay, so thinking of another example, um, let's do the bank because it is a relatable example that we can do. I mean, we can add on more later on when we are in our next class. We can add steps in that. So I would suggest please save that example. So again, you can go to the project, create a Java project. I'll write oops one. You can write whatever because I have created so many projects, so that's why. Click on finish. And once you're done, right click on that and create a class called bank account. Bank. Make sure do not click on public static void main or anything. Click finish. And in the same project, create a main class also. And now you can write public static void main. Click finish. So you should create these two classes. Make sure you create another project. It's easier. Let me know if you're done.
And
Okay, so let's start writing the program. So I'm creating a bank class. In the bank, we all know that we deposit a money and we withdraw the money and we save our money. Fine. So that means we are working with the money. Fine. So I'll create a field, uh, private double balance. I'll use a setter method to initialize set the balance. So I'll write here public void set balance. I'll write it BAL. We'll talk about this keyword later on, not today. Just simple. Uh, Public void deposit double amount. So I'll write the formula balance plus assigned to amount. So whatever amount is, you just want to add that balance into it. I mean, that's how you find the deposit. Next is you create a withdraw method. So you write public void withdraw double amount. If a user add an amount, so it will be added. If a user withdraw an amount, it will be subtracted. Okay. So after that, you want to check how much is the balance. Okay. Now after that, you can get another method, getter method to return the balance. Public double get balance, return balance. Okay. Next thing, you can also add in the withdraw method if amount is, I'm going to change, is greater than balance or equal to balance insufficient fund, and then return. Otherwise, calculate the balance assigned to balance subtract amount. Okay, so you can do that. So once we are done with this class, next step, create an object. Let me know if you guys are done. So once that is done, let's create an object. You guys can hear me? Because Natalie said it's frozen. It's good for you?
I think
Okay.
it's because of how frozen it was initially. It just felt like you weren't moving or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for all of you that to finish this class if you guys are trying it out. Okay, so if you're done, I'll copy and paste it because I want to finish it too. And then next step after this, going to the main method, the first step is to create the object always. That's the step one. Create the create the object of the bank account class. So the syntax is bank account, new balance, new bank account. So the first step is to initialize the balance. Now I call this method account.setBalance with the value 1000. Next is deposit some amount. So I thought of depositing 500 to it. Now I withdraw some amount. So I withdraw around 200 from it. Oh, sorry. So I withdraw 200 from it. And then I want to get the current balance after it. So you can write system.out, the current balance is account.getBalance. Fine. So when I run the program, it will give me the total. Where is the console? Let me see. So the current balance is $1,300. Okay. So that would be my output. So make sure you guys save this program. You know why? Because we're going to use on Thursday class and going to add on stuff to both the programs, the rectangle one and the bank account one. Okay. So my request is to save both the programs so that it's easy for you to make some changes. So that's all from my side. I'm going to publish your homework from whatever we have done so far, and we are going to continue on Thursday class. And if I get time, I'm going to have in class lab. At least I want you to practice one program and then move to the next step. Okay. So Thursday class, I'm not going to make an announcement. Just let everybody know. And whosoever is present, they're allowed to work on in class lab. If not, then they miss on the points. Okay. So Thursday class is this Thursday. We are meeting online again, and then we are going to continue and finish this chapter as much as we can, but again, no rush. And then later on we're going to have in class lab also. Okay, only one program. So that's it. Thank you so much. If you have any concerns about this, stay back. If not, feel free to leave, and I'll keep this like